Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of The Death I Gave Him by M. X. Liu. This is a sci-fi Shakespearean adaptation book that came out, I think in September, from Rebellion Press. So I got this book from my library, good old library. This adaptation of Hamlet is well conceived and interesting, but lacks the punch to make it stand out from the other various adaptations out there. What is it about? Hayden Litchfield's life is ripped apart when he finds his father murdered in their lab and the camera logs erased. The killer can only have been after one thing, the Sisyphus formula the two of them developed together, which might have one day reversed death itself. Hoping to lure the killer into the open, Hayden steals the research. In the process, he uncovers a recording his father made in the days before his death and a dying wish, "Avenge me." And then there's more about it, but it's basically just Hamlet and it's like a locked door mystery. So, back in my youth, I studied Hamlet both in grade 12 and then in third or fourth year university. Grade 12 was the typical, what are the themes, memorize the to be or not to be soliloquy, etc. But in university, it was an adaptations of Shakespeare class, which was more fascinating because we looked at various works, mainly other plays, that took the stories and themes from Shakespeare and redid them from another perspective. I loved that class, so it's no wonder I wanted to read this when I heard about it. I still have the textbook, I think. Let me look. I do. Here it is. Unfortunately, while I think the author nailed certain aspects of the story, I just wasn't into it. The novel very much relies on you already knowing the characters from the play, in their base personalities. Of course, because it's modernized, we have some things that have been swapped or updated. For example, we have Ophelia and Laertes swapping, essentially giving Felicia, or Ophelia in this case, a lot more agency and none of the hysteria of the play. While I appreciate all the feminist reworkings of her over the years, I've never really liked Ophelia. I'm more of a Lady Macbeth girl myself. In truth, I actually prefer Macbeth to Hamlet. Anyway, it's funny because the book very much excels at adapting the characters into a modern setting, in that they both don't feel anachronistic, and they behave as you would expect they would based on their part in the original play. But, as I'm trying to kind of get to here, this also makes them feel a little bit flat. One thing I did love, though, in fact, my favorite thing about the novel, by far, was the queer take on Horatio and Hamlet, especially given Horatio is an AI. Honestly, that itself is worth reading the book for. The romance, relies on the idea that Horatio in the original play was in love with Hamlet. So if you go into it with that in mind, it works really well. And that sex scene, so good. I've never read a AI human sex scene that was so incredibly well done and sexy. I was like, wow, nailed that one. Yet that being said, I couldn't really get into the rest of the story. The novel lacked the banter and wit that makes Hamlet fun, and while I've never been super fond of Hamlet's long-ass speeches even in the original play, Hayden is very hard to like. Felicia, in turn, is also hard to like because you're like, girl, why him? When it comes to the modernization aspects of the plot, how what is happening in this story matches what happened in the play, was really fun though. You assume, for example, what's going to happen to people because of what happens in the original play, and it's fun to have both your assumptions met but also diverted from. I thought that was really well conceptualized. So I really liked the concept, and I really liked the AI human romance. I just wasn't super into the characters, and I didn't really kind of get the tension, I guess you could say. This novel, it just feels short. The stakes didn't work for me, as I said. I didn't particularly care about the end result of the story. Perhaps, though, that was because of how it was told. The structure, which is mainly epistolary, was interesting, but it also felt a tad bit spoilery. Who lives and dies pretty much at the start, which dissolved a lot of the tension, at least for me. Now, while this book hit the two major themes of Hamlet, death, the to be or not to be, etc., and revenge, this book misses one of the important themes, and that's madness. There is lying and subterfuge, but it's lacking that hard-hitting depth and the, is Hamlet crazy or just acting crazy that makes the original play so great. The lies Hayden pulls are at most lucky guesses or tricks, compared to Hamlet, where the experience becomes mimetic. The reader is generally pretty sure what Hayden is up to in this novel, so nothing is kind of really a surprise. In truth, while there are parts about this novel I thought were brilliant, unfortunately, it's not very memorable overall. Much like a lady in waiting following the princess, there's nothing about this book that really stands out as a Hamlet adaptation. Yet, I do recommend it to those who absolutely love Hamlet and can't get enough of it, as the allusions are spot on. There are some lovely turns of phrase here and there in the book, and it's quick and easy to follow. Honestly, it's not a bad book at all. I just, whenever I'm not, I guess when it comes to book reviews, I'm either like, oh my god, I loved this, here's the reasons why, or I'm like, I thought it was fine. And here's why I don't think it's amazing. It's not so much that I think it's a bad book or that it's poorly written. I think it's actually very well written. It just didn't work for me, and I just want to explain why. So yeah, those are the reasons why I didn't really particularly care for it. As I said though, AI Human Romance, spot on. It's awesome. I'm going to do a bit of a plug here for another Shakespeare adaptation. This is an adaptation of Much Ado About Nothing, and it is a lesbian rom-com. I know, not something I tend to review on this channel very often, but it's called Keep This Off the Record. It's getting fantastic endorsements from other writers in the LGBT plus romance space. So if you are interested in that kind of thing, this one's really cute and really fun. This is a plug. I am affiliated with this book, but I just wanted to like shout it out as a Shakespeare adaptation. It's really cute. So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah.